Hello and welcome to Overtime Online. I'm Nick DeSanctis. I'll be joined shortly by Tony Marino. Rich Ellerson should be entering the room here in just a couple minutes. Army defeating Eastern Michigan this afternoon by a final score of 50-25. Army rushing for 513 yards on the game, 304 coming from junior Terry Baggett. Baggett setting the all-time single-game rushing record here at West Point, capped it with a 96-yard touchdown run for a touchdown in the third, averaging over 16 yards a carry in this contest. Baggett coming into the game basically filling in for Bacon since he went down with an injury, or rather Raymond Maples, and really a good solid season so far. Angel Santiago was 5 for 7. He threw for 38 yards. Now, not to overshadow what was done by Eastern Michigan in the contest, as the Eagles put up 417 yards of offense on this Black Knight defense, though only coming away with 25 points. Tyler Benz threw for 17 of 26, 223 yards. He was sacked twice, and Bronson Hill ran for 148 yards in the contest. The Black Knights travel down to Philadelphia next week to play at Lincoln Financial Field for the first of 2 times this season when they take on Temple. And they'll head out to Air Force, then back home for their last home game of the season to take on Western Kentucky before hitting the road to finish it out at Hawaii, and then of course the showdown with Navy. As I mentioned, Army defeating Eastern Michigan 50-25. Rich Ellerson has entered the room. We'll send it down to him. I'll be back with Tony Marino here shortly.
Is it ability to stick everything out?
Well, exactly. And Colby's had to be, because Colby's, he doesn't get enough credit because in our mind he's a little bit of a known entity. We know he's going to be right. We know he's full speed, and he's such a great mentor for those younger players who have maybe some more juice, maybe some more upside athletically. But clearly, as you say, he's stayed on point. He's always been ready for us, and as that line's thinned out a little bit, he's taking meaningful turns. And what he's done every time he's gone out there is played well. Now there are still some things we don't want to ask him to do, but given if you give him a job description that's within his profile, look out. He can help us win the football games.
I mean, how does he get to the point where, you coach him for 3 years and he didn't see the field? And how did he get to the point this year where just lately he's been able to get through, against Boston College he played a little bit, and now today,
well,
how does he get to that point?
Well, I mean, it's like I say, when a guy,
defensively,
when you get 5 plays, those 5 plays are going to say something. It doesn't matter what the conversation, the how you play says. You've heard me say that before. Those 5 plays say, I need to play more. He's done that. I say he's had some opportunities this year. As you know, it's been a little bit of a tryout there at the Mike linebacker position as we've run some really some of our better athletes through that position. And to his credit, he understood what his role was. He mentored those guys. He competed with those guys. But he was ready whenever given the opportunity, and every time he's been given an opportunity, he's been productive. As I say, we just need to be careful about the job description and he'll continue to help us win football games.
Go ahead, Ron.
Coach, after the 48 points from last year, when they scored in their first 2 possessions, were you thinking, uh-oh?
No. I was thinking we had to adjust our lock on the minus split wide receiver. We're busy trying to fix things. We don't have our head down. We're just trying to get ready for the next play.
When Terry's having a night like anybody, a run back having a day like this, I was going to ask him this too, but do you sometimes get the feeling that the player believes that every time he touches the ball, he's going to do something positive? Maybe not a 96-yard run, but a couple of times he wasn't even touched going through the line.
I hope that our guys think that every time they touch the ball. And again, he knows he's not the Lone Ranger. There's a bunch of other people out there battling on every snap, and a lot of guys have to do things right to get that started. But those guys have had enough success that they have high expectations when they touch the ball, and they have high expectations for one another without the ball, which is, I think, and they're coming through for one another. We talk about how these relationships. You talk about the foundation of a great relationship is trust, and we trust our teammates to be battling to do the right things without the football, so that, oh, by the way, when I'm touching it, something good will happen. But they enjoy playing the game with or without the football, and I hope that I can't say that enough. The whole offense. The whole offense feels great about those numbers. It feels great about that W. It's not an individual.
Go ahead, Ken.
And Coach, last week Larry Dixon was talking about how effective the blocking was in front of his runs, and we saw the same thing today, running for over 500 yards rushing. Tell us about how the offensive line was able to generate that much productivity.
Well, as I say, it's the offensive line, the receivers, the running backs, all of them working together. And again, Angel putting the hands in the right ball carrier's hands, and Ian doing a great job upstairs of keeping us in the right plays, recognizing where the challenge and opportunities were. So there's an awful lot of people that have to be on point to make something like that happen.
And Coach, on defense, you had two of your starters out, Jeff Bacon and Thomas Holloway, and a lot of players had to step up today. Hayden Pierce and team, we mentioned Colby. What did the defense do to handle the game today without two players?
Well, the thing that they can point to is you talk about what wins a football game. It's not necessarily the yards and all that stuff. The things that correlate with success are those. One of those things, as you see on the wall around here, are those critical situations. So our productivity on third down, our productivity on fourth down, our takeaways in the plus 20 area. Those are the things that good defenses do. Because we were struggling to keep them there. They have really gifted people touching the ball, and they're doing some smart things that are hard to stop. But in those key situations, our guys were able to raise up and make plays at that moment. And that's if you're not doing that, it won't matter who's not playing or who's healthy or how fast you are, how good looking you are. It's going to be that situational presence and that ability to rise up and execute at those moments where the game can tilt one way or the other.
We'll go with the coach. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
It's a good song. From my right, Justin Trimble, Colby Miller, Larry Dixon, Angel Santiago, and Terry Baggett. So open up for questions. Go ahead, Ron.
Terry, on this same question I asked Coach Ellerson. On a day like this, you almost get the feeling that when they put the ball in your hands, something just good is going to happen with it?
Yeah. I mean, when we were running the plays, I knew that the line was going to execute. I knew everything else was going to be perfectly in line. All I had to do was run the ball, honestly. And running the ball on those, on that 96-yard run, all I did was run straight down the field. I didn't have to make anybody miss. And that's a sign of great execution by everybody else. And that makes everything easier.
That 96-yard run, you had like about 75 yards in front of you. There was no one there except the cheerleaders. You're going down the field and that thinking, what the hell's going on here?
No, in my mind, I was just like, I can't let anybody even get close to me, so I had to keep running as hard as I could.
Who's got the microphone? Go ahead, Ken.
And just Sherry, we were talking to Larry last week about the good blocking that the team is showing from the offensive line, also your fellow backfield members. Tell us about what was making the blocking successful for you today.
For us, for running backs specifically, it was all about practice this week was a big focus on blocking, and the last 2 weeks it really has been because we knew that we could be better blockers than we were in the previous few games. So, that was the focus, and we came out here and executed that, and that's what made blocking really, really easy for us today.
Okay. So, as Angel, you had a leg injury coming from the game last week. How did you feel out there today? How did it feel having such a productive running game today?
Going out there, I felt pretty good, in the beginning of the game. It was a little sore, but nothing unbearable. And when you have the offense executing like this, running backs that, just aren't being tackled, line, getting everybody on the ground, it definitely makes the job as a quarterback very easy.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Colby, I just want to talk to you a little bit about, this, you spent 3 years really not getting a chance to play, and then this year, all of a sudden, you've gotten that opportunity to play defense. What has it been like for you the past couple weeks to get this opportunity? And then today to have, pretty much a breakout game for yourself.
It's been big. Couldn't have done it without God first. A lot of times it's been tough being on the scout team and haven't been getting an opportunity the past 3 years. So, I mean, I had to rely on him a lot. My family and my friends and my brothers on the team, they've been the biggest support. I mean, I go out and play for them. I mean, I wouldn't do anything special. I mean, I was just doing what everybody likes to call Colby Miller. So, so I mean, it's just having a good time, enjoying the game, enjoying the moment, being there. I know this is going to be my last year of football, so I mean, I'm trying to make the most of it, make memories with my brothers on the team, just enjoy it, soak it all in.
I mean, it's really is a feel-good win for Army. I mean, you know, I can't remember the last time it won by as convincing a margin, and just was one of those days where so much went right. For you personally, I mean, is this going to be one of those games where years down the road you probably remember?
I mean, I'm going to remember every single game in my senior year. I mean, I still remember every single game of my high school senior year. So, I mean, I love football. I mean, it's been a part of me for so long, and I mean, even after I'm done playing, I mean, it's still going to be a big part of me, and I mean, it's something special to me. It's always going to be close to my heart.
Go ahead, Sal.
Justin, how big of a win is this for you guys to get that second half of the season started on the right foot and heading into Temple and Air Force the next 2 games?
I think it's a very big win for us, especially on the defensive side after coming out last week and getting ran over, and then come out this week. We knew we needed to win this game, start off right, and we know as an offense and defense, if we play like that every game, we're going to have a pretty good season. And so that's the start of our second season.
Terry, have you ever had a game like this in high school and Pop Warner or anywhere?
Yes. The most touchdowns I've scored in a game, I think I scored 6 touchdowns in one game. So this.
What level?
High school. High school. My senior year, I scored 6 touchdowns and had 300 yards. No big deal.
Are you aware of the numbers today or anything like that? Did you know 269 was the single game record?
I had no idea, and I mean, people keep telling me, man, you just broke the Army rushing record for a single game. I mean, you know all the people who've been here before you, all the guys who won trophies. It hasn't hit me yet. I'm just happy we won the game, and I'm happy I was out here with my brothers on the field, just going as hard as we could every single play.
Okay, go ahead, Ron.
Angel, after last year, with them getting so much, you getting so much, after it was 2 scores on the first 2 possessions for each of you, were you cognizant of perhaps getting into a shootout with them again?
Like, I don't necessarily, I trust the defense. They're going to go out there and they're going to get us the ball back. And when we take the field, we only have one thing on mind, that's to drive down the field and score every time we touch the ball. So, I don't necessarily think we have, in our minds, we're going to have to shoot out or anything like that. We just take each play, as it is and score.
Can you talk about what handing the ball to Terry today was like?
It was it was quite easy. I would say so. Just all I had to do was send him in motion, and he did the rest.
Go ahead, Kev.
Larry, we talked a little bit early in the week just about what today might be like, and you talked a lot about how the best days are ahead for this football team. What was it about today that kind of maybe turned the corner for you guys a little bit? Why? What was it that allowed you guys to kind of have a breakout game today?
For like a game like this, we start off we call it second season, first game of our second season, and the big thing for us, like for me thinking about like for the game is Wednesday. It's kind of like our full pad practice. We go full speed, and the first play of the practice, we're going full speed, and Terry, he gets a block on the corner, and like sometimes you go and like it's hard getting beat up in practice, and he gets up and he's so excited, and he's literally set the tone for the week, and like that's what it was. Like it's just like guys like that, and like the offensive line just crazy. The big thing for us today was just execution. I mean, defense executed, offensive executed. When offense made a mistake, we didn't score. Defense came through. If defense didn't score, offense came through. It was like we're a team. I feel like that was big today. I feel like that's just kind of what we're going to go forward. Like every other school, like everybody has something to hold on to, and like for us, it's our brothers. It's like having guys like Colby Miller surrounded with us. Like this is a kid who just comes to work every day, and he just worked and works and works and works, and like it's just being surrounded by guys like this. Like that's what we have. It's us.
And you guys just aren't making a lot of mistakes with the ball. You know, the ball's not popping loose. You're taking care of the ball. I mean, that's huge too, obviously.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of the problem last year, I mean, we put the ball on the ground too many times, way too many times. And so for us in practice, like, it's not okay in practice, it's not okay in games. It's just a mentality that we try to carry. Like, the ball's the most precious thing. I guess the ball, then the team, I feel like, is our priorities. I won't lie.
Yeah, you talked about you guys. I mean, obviously, we don't have an offensive lineman up there, but, you know, they opened up some massive holes for you guys today.
Yeah, you probably have the wrong 5 guys. They probably should be the starting.
There used to be an anonymous group, I guess.
Yeah, they deserve all the credit. Like, Terry goes off for 304 yards, and, like, the kid's amazing. Don't get me wrong. Like, this is a running back, and he's real. But, I mean, the offensive line, like, they dominated the trenches today. Like, it's this kind of day, like, this kind of production of offense. Like, we're going to go watch the tape, and we're just going to see the offensive line and the backups just dominate the other side and just impose their will on them. It's just great to be a part of. It makes you feel very comfortable as a running back, and it's just, I'm telling you, it's our offensive line. They deserve all the credit, if not more credit.
You mentioned a guy like Colby. I mean, what did you see from him in practice? What were some of your impressions of him the past few years, really, a couple of years now?
It's hard for me to put into words. Like, I came here as a freshman, and you see a kid who just comes to works every day. And, you know, sometimes, like, he didn't always get the result that he wanted, but, like, you know, he'd come back the next day, and he just works hard in everything he does. And it's literally like you hear, like, this is a kid that you tell stories about, like a kid who just comes to practice every day and just gives everything, whether it's on the scout team, and then he gets called up, and he just brings it. So whether it's one play or as many as he got today, like, it's a kid who genuinely loves the game of football. And I'm lucky to have a guy like him on our team. Like, on scout team, he made our offense better, and as you guys saw today, he makes our defense better. So it's guys like him, and, like, it's not just him. He's obviously one of the kids you want to talk about, but that's just the kind of people we have on the team, and, like, it's something special to be in the locker room with these guys.
Seems like there's a lot of players that come through West Point that are kind of like that, you know, guys who don't get the opportunity, but they keep getting at it and keep getting at it. And then all of a sudden, by the time they become a senior, you know, they come out of nowhere and make plays. I mean, is that kind of like something that you might be able to attribute to Colby in terms of a guy who just kind of kept at it, and then finally it happened?
Absolutely. Like, I would, like, compare it to, like, trying to take a sledgehammer and break through a wall. And he just, no matter what happened, the next day he's going to come in and he's going to go at the wall hard. And as you saw, he broke it down he just broke it down because the game he had today, he gets me excited watching him play. Like, it's just the enjoyment, the tenacity, just getting to the ball, never quits. It's crazy.
Appreciate it.
Take one final question. Go ahead, Ron.
Justin, you stopped him twice on 4th and short. How much satisfaction do you get from that?
Oh, it's great. Like, as a defense, we live for that stuff, and as a thing, we consider that a turnover, and so now our turnover margin is even better. So coming in tomorrow, coach is gonna be like, well, we got, you know, pick, we got, you know, forced fumble, and then got 2 4th down stops, and so that's big for our defense. We live off that kind of stuff right there.
Thanks, guys.
Hello, I'm Nick DeSanctis. Welcome to Overtime Online. I'll be joined shortly by Tony Marino, but first, the running back that now holds the single-season record, Terry Baggett. Terry, we heard you say you scored 6 touchdowns at one point in high school. Obviously, that's a good memory. Where do you think this one's going to fall?
I mean, this one's different because this is college, this is Division I football, and this is West Point, where a lot of great running backs have come and have done great things. So I mean, it still hasn't fully hit me yet, you know, but it's an amazing thing, and it's even better that I was out there and able to do it with my brothers.
Is there one run in particular that stands out?
Yeah, and it's not mine. It's Larry Dixon's run where he broke like 11 tackles or something. If you look at the film on that play, I was in the back watching him run, just go, yeah, oh yeah. That was amazing.
I was standing in the end zone. I think it was up to like 12 or 13. Now, you broke one yourself for 96. Were you out of breath at that point?
I really wasn't too out of breath. I mean, I was definitely tired, but I wasn't that out of breath. I didn't have to break any tackles, so running when the O-line makes everything easy, I mean, it's not that hard.
Can you talk a little bit to us about the offensive line as the holes? You could almost drive a Mack truck through them today.
Oh, my goodness. The O-line, those guys come to work every single day, every practice. They're a great group of guys. I mean, I can't explain how easy it was to run the ball today. When I was running through the middle, there was no one there, nobody. those guys are awesome.
Now, you and I chatted in the preseason, talked a little about the injury history. You're coming back, you're healthy. Is everything still holding up to the point, midway point of the season?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to go for the rest of the season. Nothing can stop me.
At what point do you think this will wear off and looking to Temple's going to start to set in?
After tonight, tomorrow, after we watch the film from this game, that's it. And then it's on the next week and beating the next team on the schedule.
Awesome, Terry. Thanks so much again. Congratulations. Terry Baggett rushing for 304 yards in the contest. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'll be joined now by Tony Marino on my left. Tony, really an incredible game on all aspects. Maybe the only thing lacking for Army, the defense, as they still gave up over 400 yards to an Eastern Michigan team that is capable of putting up points, but they held them to 25.
Yeah, and I'm going to put the spin on it. They were bend, don't break. Coach Ellerson, when I talked to him after the game, he was saying how, we did give up a lot of yards, but they weren't, because of the way the Army offense was playing, the Eastern Michigan offense was forced to not kick field goals and go for touchdowns, and 2 big fourth down stops today for that Army defense. That certainly made a difference in the game. So bend, don't break is the way I would describe the Army defense today. They did give up over 400 yards, but at the same time, look at the scoreboard. Army's offense just came up huge today, and the guy that was just standing to your right moments ago obviously led them today, but just overall a great game for the Black Knights.
Now, Baggett's performance, the all-time leading single-game rush performance in Army history, credited with 304 yards, 4 touchdowns. That breaks down to an average of just about 17 yards a carry. Now, I'm kind of the new kid on the block, but you've been watching this team a lot longer than I have. Where does this rank in the games that you've seen, performances from a running back?
Well, I was here for the last game, which was the record, which was Michael Wallace, 269 yards. It was a Thursday night game. It was double overtime. And I remember that game. Now, remember, it was double overtime, so Michael Wallace had some extra time in that game to get that record. This was truly a tremendous performance by Terry Baggett. To me, it's a better performance. I remember that game. It was a very exciting game. But the runs that he had, there was the 96-yard run is the one that sticks out in my head, but I think it was a 67. The 4-yard run is kind of wiped away. Nobody thinks about that. That was the first one, and I think it was a 30-something-yard run. But Terry Baggett just owned it today. But, good job by those guys up there today, giving the credit up front where it was due. That offensive line did a tremendous job. They were a little nicked up throughout this game. I was watching them on the sideline throughout the game, the offensive line. You didn't know it by watching them execute out there up front today.
Now, Santiago threw for just over 30 yards in the contest. We didn't see any other passing attempts. I was on the field for most of the game. I know you were there the whole time. Did you see any other quarterbacks under center?
I did not. It was Santiago the whole way. We were told coming in, which doesn't help us much on the radio side anyway. He could have 1 snap. He could have 4 snaps. He could have 70 snaps. Well, we were closer to the 70 today. But I think that the offense was built around, you had a couple banged-up guys in Larry Dixon and Angel Santiago. They weren't 100%. So I think the game plan today was designed around they weren't going to get as many carries in the past. You go back to the touchdown. I think it was Turntine who ended up having the touchdown. I think a lot of people there were looking for Larry Dixon to get the carry there down by the goal line inside the 5, and you saw that Turntine got the carry instead. And I think that was something that was the game plan today. There was only going to be 9 or 10 carries for Larry Dixon. Angel was going to have maybe 12 or 13 carries at the most, or at least where he called his own number. So I think that was part of the game plan today. You've got a whole season to go. This is just the start of the second half. You've got a whole second half of the season to go. So it was well executed by the players, and I think it was a great game plan by the coaches all around.
Now, Xavier Moss caught 4 passes today. The freshman receiver, we saw him score on that awesome flea flicker at Boston College last week, had a breakout game in his first career game against Morgan State. I think that one that really stands out to people. Where do you think he falls into this mix now with 2 solid backs, Turrentine really coming into his own? You could almost group him with those 2. You have a quarterback that can run and throw, and now you have a receiver that's proven to be a deep threat.
Yeah, and Xavier Moss, we also look at what he does on the edge, too. A couple of Baggett's runs today were outside getting to the edge, and Lawrence and Moss are out there blocking as well. He is a complete player. He's just a plebe. He's got a long way to go, and that's amazing to say because you've seen what he's done so far. It gives Army an option when they want to throw the ball. We went back and looked at it today, and we believe, as Justin Trimble was up there, that the catches now, I think you said he had 4 today, Moss, so I think that's 18 on the season for Xavier Moss receptions. That's the most since the 20 by Jeremy Trimble back in 2005 as a plebe who had 20 that year. So he is part of this Army offense now. He's a weapon. He's something that the defense has to think about, has to plan about.
Now the Black Knights will travel down to Philadelphia next week to take on Temple. Temple with a new coach. Looks like they're running kind of the same system, and they have a quarterback that can move and can throw the ball. What do you think this defense is going to have to work on in the next 6 days to brace for that team?
Getting healthy. That's what they have to do. Bobby Coe left today's game. They missed him up front. He's a nice log jam up front to stop the run. They were unable to do that today. Obviously, when you saw what they were able to do, what Eastern Michigan was able to do, they have to get healthy. Thomas Holloway's out. He's probably not going to return next week. They have to get healthy. They're going to rely on guys like Colby Miller, who played so well today. I mean, just tremendous. It's great. You heard the story up there on the podium, him getting the opportunity. They have to get better. They have to tighten up on that defense. You can't allow 10 and 12-yard runs that much. You have to. The secondary, I thought, played a little bit better in the second half. You've got to watch the screen. It's going to be interesting with Temple. What are they going to try and do? Are they just going to do kind of the Boston College game plan, is run it down your throat, and we think we got a good back and we're going to run it, and then we know we have the ability to throw. It's going to be interesting to see what their approach is. Are they going to go with a 50-50? Are they going to go with a 75-25? They're going to try and run the ball at Army.
Now, last question I have for you. Game ended 50-25. For me, it was the 96-yard touchdown run that really seemed to almost put it away, in a sense, kind of knock down Eastern Michigan. What was the defining play of the game for you?
Defining play of the game, I would agree on that. But to me, where it turned, I felt it turned, was when Army was able to hold them to a field goal before the half. At that point, Eastern Michigan, they were just trading uppercuts with Army back and forth. When they were able to hold them, I thought that turned a little bit, and then the defense was able to keep that momentum, at least holding them the next time they went out on the field. So I would agree the 96-yard run, certainly for the crowd. This place lit up, the 36,000 that were here today, it lit up for that. But I would agree that the 96-yard run was kind of the stamp today, and it's one of those plays that we're going to see on highlight films for a while.
Absolutely. You heard the crowd reach a fever pitch and then managed to get louder as he crossed into the goal line. Really a great run, great individual performance from Terry Baggett and the rest of the Black Knights. Army defeating Eastern Michigan in this one, 50-25. They'll travel down to Lincoln Financial Field in the city of brotherly love to take on Temple next Saturday at 1. This has been Overtime Online. Thanks so much for joining us on Night Vision. For Tony Marino, I'm Nick DeSanctis saying so long from West Point.